Chapter 18, verse 215.
You're reading from Sri Caitanya Caritamrta, Bhagavad chapter 18, text 215. The Lord is to Vrindavan. The Lord's visit to Vrindavan, or Sri Vrindavan. Text 215. Shri Krishna Dasa Prabhu Hidaya Lila Gaurahati Turitan Kahila At Sharoketra, the Lord requested his son, earlier Brahmana, and the Rajputa Krishnadas to return home. But with folded hands, they began to speak as follows. They prayed, "Let us go to Prayag with you. If we do not go, when shall we meet again to get the association of your lotus feet?" The country is mostly occupied by Muslims, and at any place someone can create a disturbance. And although your companion Balabhadra and Balabhadra Bhattacharya is a learned scholar, he does not know how to speak the local language. Hearing this, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted their proposal and smiling mildly. He accepted their proposal by smiling mildly. Thus those two persons continued to accompany him. Whoever got to see Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would feel himself overwhelmed with ecstatic love and would begin to chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra. Whoever met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu became a Vaishnava, and whoever met that Vaishnava also became a Vaishnava. In this way, all the towns and villages became Vaishnavas, one after another. Just as the Lord inundated South India on his tour, he also inundated the western part of the country with love and kindness. Therefore, according to some opinions, Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu visited Kurukshetra while going from Prayag to Vrindavan. There is a temple of Bhadrakali in Kurukshetra, and near the temple there is a temple containing the deity of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu finally arrived at Prayag, and for 10 successive days bathed in the confluence of the river Jamuna and the Ganges during the festival of Makara Sankranti, known as the Magh Mela. Purport. Actually, the word Triveni indicates the confluence of 3 rivers, namely the Ganges, the Jamuna, and the Saraswati. Presently, the Saraswati river is not visible, but the river Ganges and the river Jamuna emerge at Allahabad. The Saraswati river goes underground. It's lost now, but we'll make him up again later on somewhere else. At the moment he goes underground, so there's only 2 rivers there instead of 3. flying past. So that's the Ganga Gavina, so we take a part. And that's Ganga Devi. But Jamuna is also flying along with Ganga Devi. Jamuna is flying on the western bank of the river Ganges here. Prabhupada Ghat is on the eastern bank, and on the opposite bank, the Jamuna is flowing there, along with Mother Ganges. When Mother Ganges agreed to come here, or before she agreed, she asked Jamunaji that he can come and keep her company and into the material world. So Jamuna said, okay. So they're flying together here, Ganges and Jamuna. Flying together, and when they reach the Bay of Bengal, then Ganga will go down to the different planetary systems. We've seen the you see a map of the Bay of West Bengal, and you see how the river Ganges comes into the confluence, and it spreads out into what they call the 100 mouths of the Ganga. She splits into many streams, and then she goes down to the different planetary systems. Patala, Tala, Shitala, Tala, all these different planets. Ganga goes down and delivers them. It's like Maharaj, he performed the sacrifices. Huh?
Bali, he's saying Bali Maharaj.
Bali Maharaj. No.
Maharaj Sagar.
Huh?
Maharaj Sagar. Sagar Maharaj.
Sagara Maharaj. Sagara Maharaj. The stories in Srimad Bhagavatam. And these 60,000 sons went to search for the horse. They were all burned to ashes when they saw Kapila Muni, and they thought he had stolen the horse. They became very angry. They wanted to kill him. Not Sakha Maharaj. Who's Sadhu? Kapila Muni. Kapila Muni. flows down and then liberates all the people in that. Liberate the person who was the offering was made for. So if he went down to say Satala like the sons of Mara Sagar, then that branch of the Ganga that would go down to that particular planet where the person who left the body is from. Yeah? Okay, so the yeah, where the soul has gone in the lower planetary systems, then when the Ganges come down to the very West Bengal, these different little rivulets, they all flow down. That offering that you make to your fathers, that will go down this particular channel of the Ganga, where your relatives have been gone. So that ideas that you do picture puja and things like that, and it relieves your relatives from going down to, or from the hellish condition. And it goes down to that planet where they're staying, and the Ganga comes and liberates. So when we do that ceremony, that's the function. The relatives, when they went to a lower planet, that's most people have to see the bigger suffering. So that relieves them from that awkward body. They kind of, picture lotus, they kind of, it goes deep body, they get very supple bodies. Anyway, they get relieved. This is the kindness of Ganga Devi. She flows throughout the universe and delivering wherever she goes. So many people come and they don't bathe properly, and people don't use this place for cleaning themselves. But still Ganga Devi is so loving, so good mother. She's accepting all of that and cleansing the whole universe. Flows down, so this is the greatness of Mother Ganga. The Mahaprabhu is taking his bath how many times? 10 times?
10 consecutive days.
Huh?
10 consecutive days. 10 days.
Oh, 10 days Mahaprabhu, 10 days in a row. Mahaprabhu took his bath there. Mahaprabhu beyond all rituals and things like that, but we see how he's playing the part of a perfect Brahmana. As a leader of the Brahmana, Jagannath Mishra was a very respected leader, so they always still follow their local customs and traditions, just to set the example. So the Mahaprabhu is setting the example. And elsewhere he said when he first arrived in Gaya, he did enter to not only one temple, so the main temple, there is Radha Vishnu, not Radha Pandit. Radha Vishnu, he's the main deity. There's a big footprint of Radha. I hadn't seen it. So anyway, there's a big footprint of Radha Vishnu there, very famous, ancient times. And everybody goes there and offers their Pinda offering to the forefathers. And so they liberate. But here Mahaprabhu, he already he's done one Pinda there at Radha's footprint. But still he went on to do many more Krishna says, they are all temporary manifestations. So worship of the demigods, worship the pitris, worship the forefathers, worship. They're all Kamakandira activity. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu still he followed because he identified himself to set an example as belonging to the Brahmanic community. He was one of the leaders of the Brahmanic community. So, he followed all the rituals nicely of people that a Brahmana should follow. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu visited Vrindavan and his activities are all unlimited. Even Lord Shesha, who has thousands of foot, cannot reach the end of his activities. What ordinary living being can describe the pastimes of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu? I've only indicated the general direction in the form of a summary. The pastimes and methods of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu are uncommon. Unfortunate is he who cannot believe even after hearing all these things. Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Gaur Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Govinda The pastimes and methods of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu are uncommon. Unfortunate is he who cannot believe, even after hearing all these things. From beginning to the end of the pastimes of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu they are uncommon. Just hear them with faith and accept them as truth and correct. They're uncommon, very uncommon. So the Vaishnava said, of course they're uncommon, otherwise why is he God? If God comes and forms common activities, what is the use of being God? So you must respect uncommon activities when you're dealing with the Supreme Personality. Whoever argues about this is a great fool. He intentionally and personally brings a thunderbolt down upon his head. You accept these with faith as true and correct, otherwise you may get some thunderbolts. He who argues about this is a great fool. He intentionally and personally brings the thunderbolt down upon his head. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, the pastimes of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu are an ocean of nectar. Even a drop of this ocean can inundate the whole world with transcendental bliss. Praying at the lotus feet of Sri Rupa and Raghunath, always desiring their mercy. I, Krishna Das, narrate Sri Caitanya Caritamrta following in their footsteps. Thus sends the Bhaktivedanta purport to the Sri Caitanya Caritamrta Mataji, the 18th chapter, describing the Lord's visit to Sri Vrindavan and his conversion of the Muslim soldiers on the way to Bayat. We were at the 800 plus. Chant it again, this is it. That is chapter 19. Lord Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu instructed Srila Rupa Goswami. Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jai Jai Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jai Jai Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Jaya Jaya Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jai Jai Sri Caitanya Jaya Nityananda.
Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda.
Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda.
Text number 1. Before the creation of this cosmic manifestation, the Lord enlightened the heart of Lord Brahma with the details of creation and manifested Vedic knowledge. In exactly the same way, the Lord, being anxious to receive being anxious to revive the Vrindavan pastimes of Lord Krishna, impregnated the heart of Rupa Goswami with spiritual potency. By this potency, Sri Rupa Goswami could revive the activities of Krishna in Vrindavan. Activities were almost lost to memory. In this way, he preached Krishna consciousness throughout his world. Saying how the Lord, being anxious to revive the Vrindavan pastimes of Lord Krishna, impregnated the heart of Rupa Goswami with spiritual potency. By this potency, Sri Rupa Goswami could revive the activities of Krishna in Vrindavan. So by the Lord's mercy, the Lord reveals himself in his positive form, etc. And Rupa Goswami was empowered when Rupa Goswami was in Jagannath Puri with Mahaprabhu. He wrote one poem expressing the mentality of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. And he stuck it in the straw roof of that house. But they were saying, Mahaprabhu came and he saw the piece of paper of a palm leaf like this. Bark. And that paper that paper was just being invented at that time. Anyway, probably a palm leaf he had written on. He stuck it in the roof. Mahaprabhu came in and he saw that palm leaf. He read on it. And he said, how's it? It must be Rupa Goswami. The beautiful Sanskrit. How come he's understood my mind? It's written exactly where my mentality was. Everybody else thought I was chanting, like it was a love song. Mahaprabhu was going. He was singing poems from Chandi Das, and others were big Vaishnava poets who used to sing about the conjugal affairs of Radha and Krishna. So, when Mahaprabhu was singing to Lord Jagannath and expressing his emotions in the mood of Srimad Bhagavatam, everybody thought it was kind of a love song he was singing. It's the same mood that tonight here, you are the same person, I'm the same person. Expressing Lord Radharani's feelings. And anyway, Mahaprabhu said, how can I know that? And everybody was coming and said, look, Rupa Goswami's written. How have you done that? How have you known my mind? And the devotee said, the only reason he can know your mind is that he must have been merciful. He must have bestowed him with mercy, otherwise it's not possible. That's why he is. He has less, so he is the same thing. He's saying. The Lord impregnated in the heart of Rupa Goswami with spiritual potency. By this potency, Sri Rupa Goswami could revive the activities of Krishna in Vrindavan, the activities were almost lost to memory. In this way, he spread Krishna consciousness throughout the whole world. So Mahaprabhu blessed him and revealed it. Next number 2. All glories to Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Nityananda. All glories to Advaita Chandra. All glories to the devotees of the Lord. Text 3. After meeting Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu in the village of Ramakeli, the brothers Rupa and Sanatana returned to their homes. How many of you have been? Ramakeli? Place is no different than Vrindavan. Rupa Goswami is Rupa Manjari and Sanatana. They were wandering around in that area. Ramakeli. So they created that place is known as New Vrindavan also. They excavated some ponds there. Next 12. The two brothers devised the means by which they could give up their material activities. For this purpose, they appointed two brahmanas and paid them large amount of money. The brahmanas performed religious ceremonies and chanted the holy names of Krishna, so that the two brothers might obtain shelter at the lotus feet of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu very soon. A Purascharana is a ritualistic ceremony performed under the guidance of an expert spiritual master or brahmana. It is performed for the fulfillment of certain desires. One rises early in the morning, chants the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, performs Archamanya by the Arctic ceremony, and worships the deities. All these activities are described in the Madhya Lila, 15th chapter, verse 108. At this time, Sri Rupa Goswami returned home, taking with him large quantities of riches loaded in boats. More than one boat, boats. Riches. Sri Rupa Goswami divided the wealth that he brought back home. He gave 50% in charity to the Brahmanas and Vaishnavas, and 25% for his relatives. Purport. Here, this is a practical method of how one should divide his money and retire from household life. 50% of one's money should be distributed to qualified and pure devotees of the Lord. 25% may be given to family members, and 25% may be kept for personal use in case of emergency. 50% of one's money should be distributed to qualified pure devotees of the Lord, 25% given to family members, and 25% may be kept for personal use in case of emergency. But a lot of people say, I can't give 50% of my wages. You're working. I can't give 50% of my wages. It's recommended here. Because in this context, that was the standard, wasn't it? No person give 50% charity. adopted for the grihastha. And that, so that's the 50% that you should give. After everything else has been deducted for your regular maintenance. Then it becomes practical. After you give something to everybody. What is extra, the pocket money, then 50% of it. When Rupa Goswami heard that Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu had returned to Jagannath Puri, preparing to go to Vrindavan, through this forest, Sri Rupa Goswami sent 2 people to Jagannath Puri to find out where Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu would depart for Vrindavan. Sri Rupa Goswami told the 2 men, "You are to return quickly and let me know when he will depart. Then I shall make proper arrangements." While Sanatana Goswami was in Gauradesh, he was thinking, "The Nawab is very pleased with me. I certainly have no obligation." Sorry. "The Nawab is very pleased with me. I certainly have an obligation. If the Nawab somehow or other becomes angry with me, I shall be greatly relieved." That is my conclusion. On the pretext of bad health, Sanatana Goswami remained at home. Thus he gave up his governmental service and he did not go to the royal court. The greedy masters of this clerical and secretarial staff performed the government duties while Sanatana Goswami personally remained at home and discussed the revealed scriptures. Purport. Sanatana Goswami was the minister in charge of the government secretariat and his assistant. The undersecretaries and the clerks all belonged to the Kayastha community. Formerly the Kayasthas belonged to the clerical and secretarial staff of the government, and later, if one served in such a post, he would be called Kayastha. Eventually, if a person could not identify himself as a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya or Sudra, he used to introduce himself as a Kayastha to get wealthy and honorable position. In Bengal, it is said that if one cannot give the identity of his caste, he calls himself Kayastha. On the whole, the Kayastha community is a mixture of all castes, and especially includes those engaged in clerical or secretarial work. Materially, such people are always busy occupying responsible government posts. When Sanatana Goswami was relaxing and feeling inclined to retire from government service, many Kayasthas of his secretarial staff were very eager to occupy his post. In this regard, Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur states that when Sanatana Goswami was a government minister, and the Kayastha who assisted him saw that he was reluctant to continue, they became very expert in duties. Sanatana Goswami was a Brahmana, belonging to the Saraswat Brahmana community. It is said that when he resigned, a subordinate named Mundara Khan, who was a Kayastha, he occupied his post. Sanatana Goswami used to discuss Srimad Bhagavatam in an assembly of 20 or 30 learned Brahmana scholars. Purport. Sanatana Goswami, Srila Vinod Thakur, gives us the following commentary on the words Bhagavata Vishaya, as confirmed in the Mundaka Upanishadam. 1145. There are two kinds of educational systems.
有两种教育体系，
One deals with transcendental knowledge, Paravidya, and the other is material knowledge, Aparavidya.
还有另外一种是
All the Vedas, Rig,
维迪亚所有的
Ved, Yajurved, some of them as
阿
Vidya,
拉维迪亚
Jyotisha,
主体是
Jyotisha.
这个是占星学，
And the devotees wanted to follow that.
有些人就想去追随。
Prabhupada said, yes, it's a science. He said it's the highest material science.
这个是比较
But it is a science, astrology.
但是占星主体上只是
Prabhupada said it's the highest science, but it's material
科
science.
学的科学，
It's
但
something.
是物质。
The Vedic sutras accepted as is accepted as the Paravidya.
是这个阿拉维迪
Srimad Bhagavatam is an explanation of that Paravidya.
阿拉维迪亚
Those who aspire after liberation,
非常渴求
mukti or moksha,
或者是牧师的人，
and
并且
introduce themselves
自
as
己为
Vedantika are also equal
等同于
to those groups aspiring to improve religion, dharma,
达尔玛、
economic
经济
development,
发展、
bhakti,
阿尔达、
and sanctification,
和享
karma.
乐的传统。
Dhamma kama
达尔玛
moksha,
和康
tatur
被称为是
chatur varga.
瓦尔嘎，
They are all within the system of inferior material knowledge.
知识之
Any literature giving information about the spiritual
理性
world,
世界、
spiritual life, spiritual identity, and spirit soul is called
也称为
Paravidya.
阿拉维迪亚。
Srimad Bhagavatam does not have anything to do with the materialistic
和生活方式
way of
有
life.
关系。
It gives transcendental information to educate people in the superior system
在更
of
高级的阿拉维
Paravidya.
迪亚的体系之中，
Sanatana Goswami was engaged in discussing
从事
the
巴
Bhagavad
瓦
Vidya,
的维迪亚的
which means he discussed transcendental superior
高
knowledge.
等的知识。
Those who are promised jnanis, yogis, are not actually fit
实际上并不
to
是
discuss Srimad
他
Bhagavatam.
们是曼巴布他们
Only Vaishnavas or pure devotees are fit to discuss that literature,
适合讨论
as stated in the Srimad Bhagavatam itself, 12, 13, 18.
12.13.18。
Although Srimad Bhagavatam
尽管是曼巴布他们
is counted among the Puranas, it is called the spotless Purana,
被称为是无
because
瑕
it does not discuss anything material. It is liked by transcendental Vaishnava devotees. The subject matter is found in Srimad Bhagavatam. It's meant for the Paramahamsas.
提是为了帕拉玛
It is said, Parama Nirmat Sharanam
曼萨
Satam
拉
Vedyam.
维迪
A Paramahamsa is one who does not live in the material world,
物质世界里的人，
and one who does not envy others. In Srimad Bhagavatam, devotional service is discussed to arouse the living entity to the transcendental position of jnana, knowledge, and vairagya.